Thank you for attending this lecture entitled Graphic Organizers as a Tool to Foster Listening in a Virtual Environment. Today, the educational process demands active methodologies and strategies that promote significant learning, where students use set knowledge to solve problems in their immediate context. In this sense, strategies to encourage reflection and understanding of what they listen to are essential to avoid repetition and memorization of concepts, definitions, or topics. Since the intention is not to remember something in the short-term memory, but rather to use previous knowledge to understand the new ones, and thus contribute to the process of assimilation and accommodation, construction and deconstruction of knowledge. It is also fundamental to design good practices embedded in personalized environments and center on didactic sequences that offer an innovative and attractive way of learning. In this sense, graphic organizers represent an ad hoc means for listening comprehension because through visual representations, students learn without this process being tedious or an unpleasant experience. The disruption caused by the migration of education to the virtual modality has different implications, and one of them is how to design or adapt the resources of traditional classes to a digital format. There are indeed countless applications or digital tools that can support this process. However, to achieve this objective, it is necessary not only to have digital skills that allow the teacher to use information and communication technologies in the educational context, but also to have academic skills, pedagogical strategies that with the use of learning and knowledge technologies lead to the creation of digital content in different formats, according to specific context, study objective, students' need, and prior knowledge, among others. For the specific case of this research, the digital resource analyzed is the graphic organizer to promote listening comprehension in English as a foreign language. During the emergency remote teaching period, teachers found ways to deal with online scenarios to continue with their practice. Under those circumstances, different applications and visual materials supported them. An example was the graphic organizers to deliver information in a virtual modality to develop competencies. Indeed, they played a crucial role in the educational field, especially in learning a foreign language, because they provided content dynamically in synchronous and asynchronous formats. Then, graphic organizers are pedagogical tools that help students print their thoughts in coherent schemes represented in essential ideas. That is why digital tools to develop listening comprehension are the new generation of learning in virtual and distance environments, especially in these post-pandemic times. Besides, studies on virtual and blended learning tools have shown a possible way to promote English learning skills in a foreign language, since graphic organizers enhance students' listening and critical, reflexive thinking to represent meaningful experiences in their daily life. The study was accomplished in the Teaching English Bachelor at the Benemérita Universidad Autónoma de Puebla in Mexico. The objective of this study is to describe how graphic organizers promote students' listening competence in higher education while working on the institutional Moodle platform. Speaking a foreign language like English is a process that requires different skills like speaking, writing, reading, and listening. At this point, it is worth mentioning that one of the complex skills to foster in a student is listening, because it implies a comprehension process where the learner is required not only to know the vocabulary or grammatical structures, but also to code and decode symbols into sentences and apprehend their meaning, to be able to represent what they understood in a process called knowledge representation. In addition to the above, students sometimes consider listening complex when it shouldn't be, because proficient listening skill leads to success. Otherwise, they will have difficulties like an unsatisfied listening process or comprehension skills. The following slide describes three main concepts for the study. Representing knowledge is a critical ability for students in today's learning environments, as it is an interactive process of meaning construction accomplished if students understand what they hear or read. Virtual classrooms are the new generation in the evolutionary growth of open, flexible, and distance learning that capture teachers' imagination and interest thanks to its different tools, providing meaningful means to deliver information and helping students learn according to their rhythm and learning styles. A graphic organizer, also called online graphics, is a digital material that allows users to represent learning through images. It guides the learner's comprehension as he fills in and builds upon a visual map or diagram of what they hear. Thus, it is a visual display to show relationships between facts, concepts, or ideas to foster listening. As mentioned, the study describes how to develop listening with graphic organizers. Thus, it is worth pointing out some students' characteristics in such a process. The first one is synthesizing skills, which include comprehension and knowledge representation abilities. The second is autonomy, and the third one is collaborative learning skills. Methodology. Regarding methodology, a cross-sectional descriptive quantitative study was carried out during spring 2023. The sample consisted of 80 students from the fourth semester of the teaching bachelor with the following characteristics: enroll in virtual classes, work in an institutional platform, face listening comprehension issues. After applying a Likert scale questionnaire, the following findings are presented. This graphic shows that graphic organizers kept students interested and engaged in the virtual classroom with a high task listening range and correct completion. Students saw them as novel ways to approach critical content by supporting their learning in activity settings with accurate and progressive feedback, clear goals, progress monitoring, and current accountability practices. As the graphic points out, graphic organizers assisted students in organizing ideas and relating them to meaning, avoiding rote knowledge thanks to active pedagogies based on active, autonomous, and meaningful learning. In conclusion, graphic organizers are online materials integrated with any English lesson to learn a language in authentic and meaningful contexts. Considering the previous information, this research contributes to better teaching learning language processes, since it lets teachers and students work in a flexible and friendly environment, where visual and audio materials assist them in promoting their learning competence. Besides, it is innovative because it permits working without barriers like time and space, privileging emergency remote teaching through virtual classrooms. Thank you for your attention.